Hey guys, this is Anime Ball Z here, and today we are going to be doing the 8th part of What If Goku Was an Elite Saiyan. Please like to help with the video's algorithm and subscribe, it's totally free and you can unsubscribe when you want. There's nothing much else I want to say in the intro, so without further ado, let's get into the video.
Winter time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag, disrespectful and I'm rude, okay. I had cocaine in the school.
Maybe all that studying was useful after all. However, Namek is very far away. I've never been able to lock onto it, Piccolo states, raising two fingers to try and lock onto the planet. Remember, Piccolo does know instant transmission from going to Yardrat with everyone else. It takes a few seconds, but this time he finds it. It has been a month since he's actually tried to search for the planet, but he has also trained the technique for combat and medium range teleportation. With the planet locked onto, Gohan places his palm on Piccolo's shoulder, then they arrive on the planet. Luckily, they arrive in close range of the Grand Elder's palace, so they just teleport into the place and manage to get their potentials unlocked by Grand Elder Mori. Remember that new Namek doesn't actually exist in this continuity because Namek was never destroyed. Gohan feels more than just stronger from this unlock, he feels like a whole different person. His aura is far more intense, and this is the same with Piccolo. They nod to Mori then disappear, appearing back on Earth. Next, they arrive on Kami's lookout a few good minutes before the Saiyans are set to enter. Before all of them enter the hyperbolic time chamber, they plead to try and enter it with them. "Hey, I want to train with you guys now," Gohan shouts, catching the attention of Vegeta. "Oh please, do you really think you wield the power to contend with us Saiyans? You know how much weaker you are in comparison to what?" Vegeta is cut off once he senses his ki, noticing that it's increased by leaps and bounds. "Since when did you get so strong?" he asks, now being a little more insistent on letting him in. Goku, who is near the door, turns to see Gohan too. "Gohan, you're super strong now, and you too, Piccolo," he states, surprised by their powers. Their key signatures have magnified by multiple times and are now far more imposing than what they once were. This makes the Saiyans more intrigued to try and see what they are capable of. "Fine, don't slow us down," Vegeta states, entering the hyperbolic time chamber with the other two warriors and the rest of the Saiyans. Piccolo is reluctant to enter, but is far more interested by the fact that he is increased in power by so much. Once the 3 years pass, the group of fighters exit the hyperbolic time chamber with far more power now. Goku has become the strongest warrior that they have by a long shot. Also, he saw a flash of Ultra Instinct within the chamber. Not the form, but something similar to what Master Roshi possessed against Jiren. It makes him way more motivated to see what he can do with that power. The Universe 6 tournament arrives and the group are ready to fight. Buu is replaced by Gohan since Buu is dead, and Gohan manages to pass with flying colours since he is a member of the human society after all. The first match is Goku vs Botamo. The Elite Saiyan faces the yellow bear-like fighter and races at him in his base form. He punches the warrior in his stomach and nothing happens. He throws several more punches that are incredibly powerful, but Botamo eats these hits immediately. Goku steps back and evades a punch from Botamo, then powering up into a Super Saiyan. He flies towards the fighter and punches him as hard as he can, causing no movement once again. He then teleports away from Botamo and dodges a beam of energy from him, clamping his hand onto his ankle. He then swirls and hurls Botamo right out of the ring with one throw. The next fight is now between Goku and Frost. Goku is quite surprised to see one of Frieza's race, and also that he seems to be way nicer than the one that they know of. It makes him even more interested to see how the battle turns out. Goku stays in his base form and starts to attack Frost, who is still in his first form. Frost gets slid back incredibly far from just one strike and gets overwhelmed by the hit. Next, he raises up his posture and then raises both of his arms to try and stop Goku. "If you want to fight me at full power, let me transform first," he pleads. Goku doesn't attack, conveying the fact that he wants to see the fighter's transformations that he has seen once before. Frost shifts into his second form, then reaching his third form right after. His aura takes place as he then shifts into his final form, now being astronomically stronger than before. He punches Goku and forces him back across the arena too. Now being overconfident, he swivel throws a kick at the Saiyan, but he catches it, erupting in a pool of red ki. He transforms into a Super Saiyan God form, then punches Frost very powerfully in his stomach. Following this strike, he teleports away from the front of Frost, then punches his back as hard as he can, forcing him off the arena ring almost immediately. Frost managed to land one clean shot to actually end up hurting Goku with his poison. Seconds later, he reverts to his base unwillingly and feels incredibly weak from the poison. He drops to one knee, then is taken off of the ring for the next match to commence. Since Goku actually won, he's supposed to fight, but Gohan takes his place to fight the following warrior since he is unfit for battle. The group are very concerned for him, and Vegeta is observant of Frost and what he possesses. Vegeta is definitely smart enough to know that something is going on. The next match is between Ultima Ghetto and Gohan. For the first fight, Gohan transforms into a Super Saiyan and zooms ahead as fast as he possibly can to try and fight the robotic warrior. He punches it in its mid-piece before flying up and kicking it in the head. Once this happens, the fighter becomes very annoyed and also gets stronger from these hits. Vegeta tries to hit Gohan, but he's easily able to swerve around the hits and be left unscathed due to his high battle experience and speed. However, once he kicks Vegeta again, they land a trade-off and he also gets hit. Gohan flips through then attacks and also lands across the ring, surprised by the warrior's newfound speed. Once he lands, he almost gets punched off the ring, but he blocks and reaches the very edge of the ring from this hit. Seeing that he is close to loss, he transforms into a Super Saiyan 2 form. Once this happens, he punches Vegeta back, then launches a one-hand energy wave directly at his head. After this energy wave, he flies off and lands in the middle of the ring. Due to his potential being unlocked, he actually has his ultimate Gohan transformation back again. He transforms into this form and stands firm against the robot, who thinks that this is an easy win since he actually returned to his normal form in his mechanical eyes. However, he is terribly wrong. Gohan launches an energy wave right towards Vegeta and pushes him towards the edge of the ring with this basic energy wave. Once he is done, he leaps up and uses his Super Masenko attack. This beam of golden energy hits Vegeta but causes minimal damage as he is made of metal. Gohan is quite confused by this occurrence but just resorts to brute force. He flies down and throws several powerful punches to its body and gets frustrated. "Just move, you hunk of scraps," he shouts, immediately making Vegeta fall over the ring. Gohan has no clue what has happened but is just happy that he was able to win the fight. Now Gohan faces Cabba. He is quite happy that he is a Saiyan and begins the fight. "Let's fight as Super Saiyans," he says happily, powering into such form. Cabba just raises a brow and states that he isn't able to become a Super Saiyan. It is quite understandable for Gohan since they were basically one of the first Saiyans of their universe to achieve the form. Seeing that he is unable to transform, Gohan tries his best to try and allow him to transform. "You want to know how to transform?" Gohan asks, still standing completely still. Cabba, before he even answers, gets punched in the stomach. "Your emotions, the need for power," Gohan shouts, punching him across the face and forcing both arms into his stomach. This knocks Cabba off his feet and causes him to roll away, making him seem quite nauseous and dizzy. Before he can even collect himself, Gohan kicks him up onto the aerial barricade. Cabba bounces off it, then Gohan grabs his arm, spin throwing him into the arena floor. "Use your power, use your abilities and defeat me," Gohan shouts, looming over the fallen Saiyan. He seems evil and cold-hearted, which is exactly what is needed for his transformation. Cabba screams and grows an aura. He doesn't immediately transform but then glances at Gohan and sees the need he has for the power. If he doesn't transform now, he loses. In one go, he transforms into a Super Saiyan and charges at Gohan with his newfound power. He punches Gohan and forces him back to the other side of the ring. Gohan leaps and dodges a predicted punch from Cabba. Once he strikes the ground, the arena ground cracks and breaks apart from the blow. Gohan lands on the arena floor, but Cabba swerves and launches his most powerful energy wave directly at Gohan, who catches it. He slides back from this hit and feels very overwhelmed by the attack. However, Gohan leaps over the attack and lands beside it, flying directly at Cabba. He punches the warrior in his stomach then leaps away from the Saiyan, dodging two wild swings. Cabba then leaps up to try and hit Gohan, but the Saiyan swivels over his hit and grabs him, flying directly down to try and slam him into the ground. However, Cabba rips out from his grasp last minute then leaps away from the ground, just about managing to dodge it. Gohan lands too and smiles once he sees that Cabba is literally learning from the fight. Cabba smiles too, then flies back to Gohan and they clash. The ground below them breaks apart and they seem pretty much equal as they go directly down from the balanced horizontal forces. They then throw their fair share of strikes and seem to be pretty much equal. In the end, they trade two powerful blows and knock each other onto their hands and knees. However, Gohan manages to have far more endurance and skill than Cabba, so kicks him in the gut, reverting him into his base. Next, Gohan strikes him directly off the tournament ring and is now the winner. Now, Gohan faces the ultimate assassin, Hit. Gohan might be stronger now, but I'm sorry, he just isn't enough to actually put up a fight against this guy. Also, his highest level form is his ultimate form, and he has no god ability, so this is a clear mismatch. However, Gohan doesn't actually know how strong his opponent is and starts in his base. He flies ahead at high force and throws his first punch, causing no damage. Immediately, Gohan performs several backflips and lands away from the guy, transforming into a Super Saiyan once he lands. After this, he zooms directly back at the assassin and throws a punch, but before he's even able to throw it, he gets hit instantly by a kick that launches him into the air. Out of nowhere, Hit appears above the Saiyan and punches him directly into the arena, while still being somewhat suppressed. The entire arena breaks apart and Gohan coughs blood from this blow. Luckily, something ticks inside of the Saiyan. Once he stands, he shouts as much as he can and ascends into his ultimate form. Next, his power level starts to spike and even Beerus becomes slightly interested in him. Gohan flies directly up, then tries to hit the assassin. However, he just flips right out of the way of the attack, even without his time skip powers. He then kicks Gohan in the side of his body and launches a one-hand energy wave. This energy wave slams him into the arena barricade and he slowly drags down it, but just about stops himself from falling out of the ring. Once he lands on the arena floor, he screams and starts to boil up in rage. The ground around him cracks and breaks apart, as well as the loose rocks around him floating in his exploding aura. Gohan looks up at the warrior above him, then teleports behind him, kneeing him in the back. This catches Hit off guard and actually knocks him forwards, making him slightly confused. Gohan then appears from above him and punches him right in the head. Hit drops down slightly but then tries to hit Gohan to see him disappear almost immediately. Now more aware of his abilities, he scouts the area intently and doesn't seem to find him. However, Gohan is charging up a powerful energy blast behind the rock, the light grenade. Once the attack starts to be of usable size and power, Hit notices it in the distance from the outburst of air and rocks from inside of the crater. Hit then flies directly at him, but then the emission of air just stops and Gohan is nowhere to be seen. "Hit!" Gohan shouts from behind him. He hurls out the light grenade and hits Hit directly in the stomach. The explosion is massive and the entire arena becomes white from the emission of light in the explosion. I mean, Piccolo destroyed an entire island in the Cell Saga, so imagine what Gohan could do now. Once the explosion dies down, Hit is left unscathed. All that is left is a small bruise and rip on his clothing, but other than that, nothing has really happened. Good attack, I commend you for that. In a split second, Gohan is falling off the ring from a hit from, well, Hit. No one is able to track his punch and everyone is incredibly surprised of his strength, being more concerned for the battle. Of course the gods of destruction and angels track it, but the fighters don't. Even the Saiyans, since they are still in their base forms. The next fighter up is Vegeta, who faces Hit. Goku would be facing Hit at this time, but Vegeta is insistent on fighting since he hasn't been given a go. Nappa and Raditz do want to fight, but they do know that they are weaker than him and he stands a greater chance against the assassin. Vegeta, with his crossed arms, faces against Hit with an imposing demeanor, which Hit isn't deceived by at all. "Transform or you will lose," Hit states, not moving anything except for his mouth. "How dare you try and disgrace the power of the Saiyan? Allow me to show you true power, assassin," he shouts, beginning to transform. His aura grows green and his scream turns more into a beast-like growl. His aura switches from the ordinary silver to the lime green color. It also changed its shape from a sharper and more intense aura to a bubbly and flowing aura, like the Akari form does. His iris is then switched from the ordinary black to a glowing yellow colour. He shouts and transforms into his Akari form, now much larger physically and also lacking some control. He runs ahead very fast for his size and teleports behind the assassin. He throws a punch, but Hit utilises his time skip as soon as Vegeta disappears. Once Hit is able to turn, he violently kicks him in the stomach. Vegeta flies back and almost off the ring since he's so weak compared to Hit right now, but he manages to land inside of the ring, then begins to transform further. His aura grows more than switches to a gold, as well as his hair. He then transforms into his Super Saiyan Akari form, which looks sleek and powerful as the aura is far more violent and powerful. Vegeta then flies ahead and clashes with Hit, now far stronger. However, Hit doesn't move and just forces Vegeta back with ease. Vegeta slides across the arena, then gets punched in the face, slamming into the wall of the arena to stop everyone flying off. This heavily injures him, and seeing that he is so much weaker, he angrily powers up to the maximum. His hue switches to blue, then he transforms into his Super Saiyan blue form while in flight. Dropping his arms, he smiles as he believes that the fight is over. I didn't think that I'd have to pull out this form so early on to this battle, but I can do nothing but commend your abilities. You lasted this long against the Prince of all Saiyans. Vegeta shouts, powering up right after this more as an intimidating tactic. The Saiyan flies directly a hit with his new power. The assassin gets caught off guard by the first hit, and Vegeta smirks as he does this. Vegeta then swings up for an uppercut, landing a following elbow to his stomach. Next, Hit appears behind him with time skip, but Vegeta then appears behind him and launches a Ki Blast. Vegeta then launches a barrage of Ki Blasts at Hit, who manages to use his time skipping to dodge the third Ki Blast by simply evading it. However, once he evades, Vegeta predicts this and strikes him in the face, forcing him to the edge of the ring. Now this is true Saiyan might hit. So this will conclude the 8th part of what if Goku was an Elite Saiyan. Please join the Discord that's in the comments. It is quite dead right now, but I'm going to try and revive it because there are a lot of things that I can do with the Discord. Please tell me something you liked about the video, something that I should improve on for the next part to make this what if as great as possible. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.